Alright, hey guys, what's up? Steve with Canopy Train Landscape here for another video. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm just going to be going over how profitable firewood is. There's a lot of people out there that do firewood or want to get into firewood, just selling it, starting small. You could start selling 1 cord a year, or you could start selling 100 cord a year. All depends on how much time and money you want to invest into your operation. Over here, I'm kind of a smaller operation. Last couple years, I've sold probably around 30 cord a year. So I'm trying to bump those numbers up this year. I want to get between 50 and 100 if I can. That would be nice. But if you play your cards right, there is profit to be made in firewood. So to start off, you're going to need to find out where you're going to get wood. You can cut down trees on your own property if you have plenty of land and you know what you're doing, so that way you're safe, you don't get hurt or killed. Tree work is very dangerous. Cutting down trees is very dangerous. There's plenty of people every year that get seriously injured and hurt, so you have to be safe with that. Or you can order log truck loads. So tree companies will fill up a log truck. If you have space in your yard, they'll bring it here, they'll drop it off, you pay them whatever they're asking for the load, and you'll have start from there. My normal log trucks around here between 6 and 8 cords per truckload. That's what I get. I also get my trees from tree jobs I do. I don't really have anything around here anymore that we're going to take down, but we used to take down a lot of trees around the yard, clean up the dead ones. When I was younger, my dad did firewood, so we would get wood from all the family friends that need trees down. My dad would cut them down, and we would load it up, bring it home, split it. So that's kind of how I got started into firewood. I more or less took over from him, and then from there, I started doing more tree work. And once I got more experience with tree work, that's when I started my own tree service. That helps out offset some of the cost of the wood. You get paid for the jobs and you get the wood out of it most of the time. Some people want it if they do burn their own firewood, but you can't get your own wood out of it. So just different terms all around the US, I've noticed, for wood. How much wood is what. Up here in the Northeast Massachusetts, we sell wood by the cord. A cord is 128 cubic feet stacked, around 160 if it's loose thrown. So essentially a 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot stack of wood. That would equal a cord around here. Other people sell ricks, which I believe a rick is a third of a cord. Could be off, don't quote me on it. There's also face cords. I notice people in like the Midwest and Wisconsin and everything, sell by the face cord. Face cord is a third of a cord too, I believe. I'm not too positive on that because we don't use any of those terms around here, so I don't care about them. I don't need to know them. Everybody around here buys wood by the cord. I have a decent pile behind me that you can kind of see of split wood. You're also right next to a log pile that I'm going through right now. I had a log truck come and drop it off. And for this log truck, I paid $610 for. That is the most I've ever paid for a log truck. Prices have gone up a little bit around here, so we're having to change our pricing a little bit and offset the cost. I used to pay around $400 for a truck last year, and I think the year before it was around $400. But with fuel up, trucking costs more, insurance goes up, all that jazz. So makes the other companies that I buy from have to go up on the prices. This last year, for 2022, I sold a cord of wood for $250 delivered. That was about the average price around here. I mean, you have people that go lower, $225, $200, but those are usually the people that only have 1 or 2 cord and just trying to get rid of it. And then you have the bigger companies and other people that are charging $350, $400 for a cord. So you can look at your market average and try and figure out what you want to sell it for. Facebook Marketplace is a good option. That's where I sell pretty much all my wood. Post on Facebook Marketplace, and my phone blows up with sales. So much that I have to turn people down because I run out of wood every year. But figure out the average in your market, and then you got to figure out how much time and money you're going to invest into getting the wood. So if you buy a log truck that we'll just go with, it's going to be 8 cords. You pay $600 for 8 cords of wood. How long is it going to take you to process all the wood? If you're cutting it with a chainsaw and using just a residential splitter that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's, that's what I do, takes a little bit longer. Some of the bigger pieces that you may get, if you can't lift them, you can either flip your splitter if you have the option, or you can cut them in half. I've just been cutting them in half. It makes it easier for me instead of flipping the splitter up and down. So you got to factor in your time and your cost. I know if I have the wood cut, I can split about a cord an hour, give or take. Usually a little bit more on the higher end. It might be a little bit longer than an hour. So I have 8 hours into splitting at a minimum, and then into cutting those 8 cords. Probably have another, depending on how it's stacked and how I can work it, maybe 3 hours or so. I can cut a decent amount of wood on 1 tank of gas. I also keep my chains really sharp, so I can rip right through all this hardwood, and that makes it easier too. So you have to factor in all that. If you pay yourself with the company, like I pay myself, since I'm the owner, I only pay myself minimum wage for the state. I work another job, so I don't have to rely on the tree service and landscape business to pay all my bills. So I pay myself minimum wage for the state, and I throw that money in a savings account. That's just what I do, but you got to figure out how much. So you have 8 hours into splitting, another 4 hours into cutting. You have 12 hours. 12 hours at, say, minimum wage for Massachusetts, $15 an hour, I think, right now. So you're at, what is that? I don't even know, $130 just for splitting that. So now you're at $730 for this log truck. But then you got fuel factored in, how much fuel you're gonna burn depending on your splitter, your equipment, you factor that in. Splitters, I think they're around $2,000 now. So that's a decent investment to come in. A good chainsaw is another $800 to $1,000 for professional grade ones. You can use homeowner ones too. It works just fine. But you are going to be slower in your processing, so you're going to have to add more on. So say we spend another $70 in fuel, maintenance, chains, stuff like that. Now you're at $800 for 8 cords wood. At about $100 a cord is what you're paying. So I sold mine for $250 a cord last year. Just say I'm paying $800. I mean, I get 8 cords out of the log truck, and I'm selling for $250. So that would be $1,750 minus the $800. I'm making about $900 for the cord, give or take. You know, my numbers will be off. I'm kind of just winging it off the top of my head right now. So you can make money off firewood. It does take time. It is an investment that you have to get into. You can buy processors if you really want to go big, but now you're looking at $40,000 for a small one, up to $100,000 for a big one. So there is big variables in the industry depending on how much you plan on selling, how much you want to invest. I know for me personally this year, I will be going up on my prices. I've always tried to stay on the low end so that way I could just sell all my stuff and not have to worry about it. But I've noticed that no matter what, I have repeat customers that keep coming to me, and my phone is blowing up. So depending on what the market's like in this area, I'm gonna probably bump it up between $300 and $350. You know, inflation goes up every year, everything goes up, cost of living, so you have to adjust to that, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So at $350 a cord, I gotta break up the calculator for this one. So $350 a cord times, say, 8 cords, $2,800. So if I'm still spending my $800 on wood, maintenance, fuel, stuff like that, payroll, it's $2,000 profit. Looking at those numbers, I might have got my numbers wrong on the last one, but there is profit to be made. So I'm hoping to go up to $350 this year. maybe even a little bit more if I can. I mean, supply and demand. The market goes up, market goes down, prices of everything go up. You see it with eggs nowadays. I haven't bought eggs in a while, but I guess the price of eggs are outrageous, if you can even find them. I don't know what's going on with that, because there's still hundreds, thousands, millions of chickens running around, so I don't think that changes. But fuel's up, trucking, all that. So you have to account for that. You can sell wood from your pickup truck if you have one, but you're not going to be able to hold much. I don't even know how much a better a truck holds. A good investment, if you're starting, you can use an open trailer, like a landscape trailer. That's what I started off with. We had a 6x12 or 7x12, something like that to start off. Homemade one. Worked great for years. We probably used it for 10 to 15 years until it finally gave out. I then bought a new trailer way back in 2018 maybe, when prices were low. I bought a 7x16 big tex trailer, just a landscape trailer, so I was able to hold plenty of wood on that. I paid $2,000 for that back then. Now that trailer is about $4,000, $4,500. So the prices have gone up. I use a dump trailer now. I have a SureTrack 6x12 dump trailer with built-up sides. So my sides are 4 feet tall, 4.5 feet tall, somewhere in there. I can fit 2 cord of wood in there if it is mounted up over the top. It does get tight, but you also have to account in for towing it too. 2 cord of wood, especially red oaks, stuff like that, you're probably looking at close to 8,000 to 10,000 pounds. I mean, that's a lot of weight, so you want to make sure that you can tow it. If you have a little Ranger or Tacoma or something like that, you're going to be pushing it. Even towing an empty trailer with that, my trailer empty weighs 3,700 pounds, something like that. I think 3,700 pounds, so almost 2 tons just in my trailer alone. That makes a big difference with towing. So there are a lot of cost factors that go into this, and how much you're gonna spend to get into it, how much money you're gonna make. You gotta think about your ROI. At first, you're gonna spend a lot of money, but you can make that money back in no time. I bought another splitter last year, made that money back in 2 days of just delivering one load. Actually, I brought one customer, ordered a bunch of wood, so out of one customer I made the money back just to pay for the splitter. My chainsaws are expensive because they are professional grade saws. I run all Husqvarna right now, and my most expensive saw cost me like $1,400 or $1,500, so there is that too. But there is plenty of money to be made if you want to get into the firewood game, but there's also a lot of money lost. So it is things to think about. I don't know if I already said that. I'm losing it. But firewood is a good revenue maker, especially in the fall if you want to bump up your sales. That's when I sell all mine, so I get mine all ready throughout the year. Usually in the winter I try and get ready, so that way it's split and seasoned by the fall. And I sell all, usually I try and get it sold by October, so that way I have the fall off somewhat for hunting season. That's just my goals. There are other companies around here that sell all year round. I would like to get there one day if I get more wood, more yard space where I can have season, non-season stuff and move stuff around. But you also have to take into account seasoning wood. I know I'm all over the place, so just bear with me. Seasoning wood takes different times. If it's green wood when it's cut, it's going to take a lot longer. If it's dead, it might take a little bit less. Hardwood definitely takes longer to season than pine does. Pine's pretty fast. But rule of thumb, you want under 20%. That's it's like average. 25's alright, but that's pushing it for what's going to burn. You're going to have water boiling out of it while you're burning the wood. So usually try and stay under 20%. That would be ideal for your wood burning. But yeah, I just figured I would make a little video talking about if firewood's profitable, to me it definitely is. I make a good chunk of change. I spend a decent amount in the beginning of the year, but I make it all back in the fall. So it is profitable to me. If you guys have any questions at all, I'll gladly answer them. I've been doing firewood pretty much my whole life. Started out when my dad was doing it when I was really young, and I'm still doing it now all these years later. So I have a decent amount of experience with splitting, cutting, selling firewood, marketing it, all that stuff. And I will gladly help you guys out if you have questions. So with that, that's gonna make a video on if firewood is profitable. Jesus, I'm really struggling today. So stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok at Canopy Tree and Landscape LLC. We're trying to grow our audience on there, post more often, and grow that. We're also trying to grow this channel, so if you liked what you saw, you want to see more firewood stuff, more chainsaw stuff, tree work, and the spring lawn care, landscape, all that stuff, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Give us a like on the videos. It really helps us out, and we appreciate it. So stay tuned for the next video, and we appreciate you guys watching.